So this is Street Talk. I don't know where I'm meant to look at there. Street Talk episode 3. And we thought, in our infinite wisdom, that this would be a fun place to come. Because we all go by and we all look in. I've been a few times. In fact, my daughter's 18th birthday we celebrated here. So this is the Queen's Picture House and Eatery in Casemates. And we've been treated to lovely tea. We've got Kenneth with us today. Hello.
Hello there.
Thank you for joining.
Welcome.
And we've got lots of things to talk about, as usual. Not, Dav?
Yes.
Maybe we'll get on, maybe we won't, and maybe we'll all have a massive row, but that's going to be the fun of it.
No, yo no creo.
No.
This place is too posh.
Look, we've got proper. Kenneth, ¿qué te parece? Esto es como Dios manda, ¿no?
Isn't there like... This is definitely out of my league.
Out of your league?
Sí, this is the lap of luxury, darling. Yo no estoy acostumbrado a estas cosas.
Por la primera vez que te invitamos
I don't even know how to hold the cup. With a pinky?
With the pinky
oh
up.
my God.
Most definitely.
Uy, qué bueno está el café.
Bueno, ¿quién quiere empezar?
Bueno, yo quiero empezar, porque quiero hablar de una cosa muy importante, que algo, it's like a pet hate.
Oh.
I'm sure you know.
Dogs.
No, it's not the dogs. It's not the dogs. It's not the dogs. And I've had this conversation with Kenneth before. This week they've given the Medals of Honour, the Mayor's Medals, the Medallions of Honour and recognition for work done in Gibraltar. People are being recognised now. A lot of them, most of them probably, are genuine. But do you think, this is my question to you, that a lot of them are giving you the badge for doing a job anyway?
Puede ser.
And does that annoy you?
Claro.
It annoys me sometimes.
Yo lo que...
¿Qué? Bueno, me voy como un sándwich mientras que contesta todo eso. Que
How
bueno.
do people get to that point? Who nominates? Who...
I believe you need to be nominated by someone.
By someone.
And then that goes to a board or whoever it is on the board. I don't know, ¿vale? I don't think you can just sign up for it, if you see what I mean, ¿no?
What I mean is how... ¿Cómo es el process? Porque si ahora yo cojo y digo, pues yo te voy a apuntar.
Sí, I think you can.
Okay, bien. And that's
I think
it.
you can. Yeah, so I'm waiting for you two to nominate me. Thank you. Okay? No?
I don't know how it works, but I know that you do have to... There are quite a few forms, I think, that have to be filled in.
Sí.
And if we think you're worthy, then we'll think about nominating you or not.
Bueno, mira, if you're going on to that subject, sorry to interrupt.
Who chooses and all that? I don't know.
If you're going to go into that subject, I think I've already voiced publicly, and this is something I feel very strongly about, and that is that I have an issue with people getting honours for something which they are paid to do.
Yeah.
Okay? So, en verdad, mira, how could I say, and I want to use an example, I'm going to use my own example, ¿vale? I would be reluctant to accept a medal for doing my job, which was teaching.
Yeah.
Although if the medal was given to me for, say, my work with the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme or with a rowing club or something like that, then that's fine.
Or chosen by the pupils.
Whatever, no? Pero no, because that would be for my job, if you see what I mean.
Sí, pero maybe for going out of your way, my extracurricular after hours.
Sí, that's precisely what I mean.
Sí, pero as a teacher I still mean.
Yeah, bueno, sí.
Porque todos los maestros no se quedan y se enrollan.
Fair enough.
Pero no, I 100% agree.
Who determines going out of your way? You see what I mean, no? Yeah? Porque, mira, there could be occasions when, let's take some of the emergency services, for example, no? Yeah, a policeman is paid to do a very unpleasant job.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes they have to go out of the way. I think it has to be something pretty exceptional for somebody to be awarded an honor. And I'll give you the case of the policeman who saved that guy's life when those trucks exploded or whatever. No, that guy put his life on the line.
Yeah,
he deserved a medal.
Yeah, he did.
Really?
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very worthy.
Sí, absolutely. I mean, he did save somebody's life, pero You know, es que lo que pasa que también some of these uniformed services, you get a medal just for being there, if you see what I mean. Because you get a medal after 10 years, a medal after 20, a medal after 25. Y yo hice 34 años de maestro y a mí no me dieron ni las gracias.
Sí,
No.
pero no, ahí lo veo yo un poquito diferente. Because at the end of the day, it is a job that quema mucho.
Teaching quema.
Sí, pero es que teaching tú no estás cogiendo a personas que se han muerto, que se están muriendo, que tiene...
No, but
it's not the same.
But he's dealing
So
with
the fact
I was
that they've
gonna
been
say,
there...
difficult children, maybe difficult situations in the school.
Pero no es lo mismo.
But I've had
No
to do
vamos a
some,
Maybe not so. Yeah.
I've had to do some unpleasant things.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah,
Pero,
which is not in the job description, if you see what I mean.
fine,
No,
pero que basically I think it's more of an award for sticking it out. Porque
yeah, and
son
you
cosas...
have
Thank
to
you.
be pretty, with all due respect, to last 34 years in teaching, you have to grow to be pretty thick-skinned and emotional, no? Porque mira, I don't know if you're aware of this, but in the United Kingdom, teachers, the majority of teachers do not last more than 5 years
Really?
before
I
moving
didn't
on
know
to
that.
something
Is
else.
that like proper statistics?
Quema mucho. Quema mucho.
Sí, but I
It's
don't
the
think, I still don't
constant-
think it's the same.
It's the constant mental stress.
Yeah.
Porque tú darte cuenta que you have to be on the ball from 9 until 3:30.
Sí, like,
y hoy en día,
quiet.
you even have to be careful how you address people.
Hoy en día más que nunca.
Exactly. I mean, I've always said this to a lot of younger teachers who are still in the profession. Yo te digo a ti que if I started teaching again, I would not last a month.
Nowadays.
Because
But you didn't
I
retire.
was
How long ago did you retire?
7
That's
years
okay.
ago. I was pretty unorthodox, and I think a lot of my former pupils will agree with that.
In your teaching methods. What's that? Oh, cheesecake.
Mira, ladies.
Oh my god.
No quiere. Venga,
Dav,
mi hermana.
You're not going to eat all
Cómete
this?
Me
eso.
duele mucho la cabeza y no tengo ganas.
Well,
Esto es
I
bueno
have
para
one, but
los
I'm going to
dolores
have
de
a
cabeza,
scone.
¿sabes?
So pretty though.
We have to
Everything
have
is so
some. We've been
pretty.
Oh my
You want
god.
to take a photograph of it?
I can't because my camera.
Es una monería esto, por favor. It's so cute.
Goodness, qué bueno.
Sorry,
We're really
excuse me, déjame
treating.
que lo ponga aquí.
Cómete un sándwich.
No tengo ganas.
Nada?
Thank you. Me duele mucho la
Kevin.
cabeza.
Oh, Kevin.
Nada. Qué pesada eres.
Da
Lo
igual.
hice antes. Ken.
Igual.
Estoy pensando en Kevin, nuestro amigo Kevin.
Sí,
Kevin.
Mira, vamos a preguntarte una cosa heavy.
okay.
How do you view Jib in general? Give me your general view.
Okay, my view
Yes,
in
claro.
general
Yeah.
about...
Let's see if we agree with you or not.
Qué broad.
No, pero
It's a
es que
bit
I can
broad.
put it into a nutshell, I think. El problema que tiene Gibraltar is this. We are
Thank you.
the size of a village aspiring to be a nation,
Agreed.
and a nation with a village mentality. It doesn't work.
Yo creo que queremos ser muy grandes, pero después
Pero mira, Davinia, sorry, I have to interrupt you there, ¿vale? When you consider the fact that in the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, the entire population of Gibraltar could have been wiped out in seconds, porque that's the death toll. Ya va por encima de los 30,000, probably going to rise to 50 or 60,000. And those are the ones that we know of. Because in Syria no creo yo que haya
no hay mucho. Sí.
records ni nada de eso, particularly because they're in a civil war, they don't know who's who and who's where. If you see what I mean, ¿no? Con que nos tenemos que dar cuenta que we are the size of a village, okay? If we were stuck in the middle of the United Kingdom, we would be a village, okay? But we have this aspiration of being a nation, and I'm not criticizing that, ¿vale? I'm not criticizing that. But if we are going to aspire to be a nation, we have to have the mentality of being a nation and not act like a village. Porque
give us an example.
give you an example.
What do you mean act like a
all
village?
right.
Why do we act like a village?
Too much gossip, too much rumor mongering. ¿Ya? Eso no. A mí, I'm not the kind of person who likes gossip or rumor
With all due
mongering.
respect, I think that happens everywhere.
Yes, I was waiting for you to finish to say it.
It happens everywhere. Está bien.
The thing is, Jib is
Pero-
small.
Al revés,
Ahí está, pero
no,
ese es
y
el
además,
problema.
al revés, if anything, in bigger places, todo esto que se habla y se rumorea sale en la prensa.
Sí.
Aquí no.
And action is taken, if need be.
Sí.
Mira cómo, sorry, puedo decirlo de esta manera, se cargaron el Chancellor. Se lo cargaron, vamos. ¿Ya? Aquí esas cosas pasan y es debajo del tapete. Debajo del tapete. Y no te estoy, and it's not a criticism of one administration or another administration.
They all,
Yes,
they all,
it is.
Es que tú darte cuenta que aquí tenemos tanto familia connections, ¿vale? De que es muy difícil de ser objective. Okay? Yeah, because you know the familiar connections come in, la amistades, los favores,
compromisos.
Sí.
esto. Y una de las cosas que pasa at a political level, if you like, is de que, and this is the reason why I've never wanted to be involved in politics, if you see what I mean. Because I think that once you get involved in politics here, you get sucked in. So
You get sucked in and you allow yourself to be sucked in.
No. I think it's just a part of the process.
No sé lo que decir.
It is part of the process.
I have to agree with Kenneth de que por mucho que tú quieras, eventually you get sucked in.
Sí, yo creo que
And
sí.
if you don't allow yourself to get sucked in, then no llega a ningún lado. Porque aquí es como funciona, unfortunately. También pienso de que I think we're too small to have party politics. Vale. También una cosa que odio aquí es de que la política, as in la persona who supports, they support the parties como si fuera tu equipo de fútbol.
It's tribal.
A la muerte.
It's tribal.
Es a la muerte. Y la cosa que, como digo yo,
You're
entonces
right.
tú no
It
puedes,
is tribal.
si tú eres una persona que tú tienes 2 dedos de sentido y tú vas mirando cómo tu vida va evolucionando, entonces tú cómo puedes ser supporting algo 100% no matter what. It's impossible. At some point in your life, they are going to come up with something that you're going to say, pues en verdad, eso no me
And you're
gusta,
gonna change your
no me
mind.
conviene, no, lo que sea, no, sí, no importa. ¿Qué estáis diciendo?
No,
Como,
aquí,
let's
if you-
hang everybody by their throats.
No, pero-
sí, porque
pero-
yo toda la vida.
Porque
No, y no solo eso. Sigue.
Sorry. Lo que pasa es que I use the expression tribal.
Yeah.
And that's what I firmly believe. Politics here is tribal. And I go back to the earlier comment de que hay tantos familia connections, ¿vale? Que si yo estoy en un partido, toda mi familia es de
Eso es lo que
ese
iba a decir.
partido,
Si tu padre es de
¿vale?
un partido, después tú tienes que ser el mismo partido.
Sí,
Pues no.
bueno, pero
necessarily.
going back to the village mentality.
Mi padre pobre se enfadaba, ¿eh?
Going back to the village
enfadaba.
mentality, Davinia, sorry, ¿vale? If and you're right, because you can be associated with a particular viewpoint just because of your connections or of your relationships.
Yeah.
You see what I mean, ¿vale? Okay.
Or what you've seen
Mira,
done in your
por
house, or-
ejemplo, yo te voy a decir, mi padre was always involved in politics. Okay.
In the what?
My father was always
Okay.
involved in politics, so in the background, shall
Yeah.
we say. Pero my father was one of the original members of the Integration with Britain Party in his day, ¿vale? Cuando estaban gente como Rivera, and Bolzano, and Belisa, and everything else. So, for most of my life, I've always been associated with those people, if
Yeah.
you see what I mean, and that kind of philosophy, okay, which is, and I don't want to really get into the politics of it, but it doesn't really mean that I subscribe to that point of view. That was my
Sí, no,
father's
eso
point
es,
of view, not
eso es el
necessarily
típico.
mine.
Esta gente toda la vida han sido de...
Sí, esta gente son bozanistas, y esta gente son esto, y esta gente son lo otro. Y eso es lo que te digo del village mentality, que vamos
They
metiendo
label you,
gente
they
en
label.
cajoncitos.
Sí, pero that's not village
But, no,
mentality,
I
that's
agree.
everywhere.
Yeah, that happens everywhere.
Eso es como cuando dicen, esta gente seguro que son conservative porque son de este nivel de vida, y esta
Sí,
gente son esto.
y cuando se ponen personal, because politics here does become very, very personal.
I call it playground politics.
No, patio politics. Patio.
Para mí es playground, porque es niño chico. No, because you did this, no, well, you did that.
Tú eres playground, yo soy patio.
Sí, pero patio al menos es adulto. Pero
bueno, pero playground politics, the fact that it's playground, and I say because I was involved with children for a long time, there is a certain innocence, even if it is malicious innocence, okay, de mientras que un patio es ya puro chusmerío, de rifarse y cosas así. Pero bueno, you call it what you will, and I call it what we will, but I think we agree generally on the concept of it, if you see what I mean. No? Yeah? Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
No.
Done.
Not unless
Said.
you want me to.
No, I want to talk about comedians coming to Jib next. So Dara O'Brien, do you know who he is?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm going.
So am I.
No.
So am I. Got tickets. So Dara O'Brien, I don't know much about O'Brien. Sorry, is a comedian. He comes out in.
Sí, you've seen him
have
for
I got
sure.
news
Sí.
for you?
Sí, you've seen him for
Just
sure.
now, Michael McIntyre.
He's
Yo fui a verlo y
Anfield.
fue un fracaso.
Sí,
Sí, ¿no?
Michael McIntyre, really? Was he?
Yes, because when I went to see him, which was like a couple of years ago, a lot of his humor is based around la familia y los niños.
Yeah.
Y los niños son teenagers ahora.
Right.
So it's not as...
Funny.
Ya son teenagers malaje, as opposed to antes que él hacía imitating a los niños y era daddy.
Sí.
So we kept waiting for that super funny moment and it never happened.
You're right.
Oh, what a
yeah,
letdown.
Sí,
Sí,
fue un
¿no?
fracaso.
I love the sketch he did. I love the sketch he did once, I can't remember where, about eventually giving in to his wife's ambition to have a country house. ¿No lo has visto?
No,
todo
ese
eso?
no lo he visto.
Eso está, es que the
He's very
way
clever.
he focuses
No,
it,
he's very
¿comprende?
good,
No,
pero-
no, sí, pero te lo doy, o mejor no.
Yo creo que también lo cogimos en el último día del tour, con que yo creo que ya era como ya terminado.
Sí.
Ya estoy en mi casa porque era Londres, and I thought ya lo cogimos así, ¿no?
Pero mira, eso, bringing British comedians or Spanish
I think
comedians.
it's a great-
porque, I mean,
sí. Bueno, los Spanish comedians no
I think
traen
as-
mucho, ¿no?
No, as bilinguals we can understand two different senses of humor, if you see what I mean.
right.
Yes.
And because of that, we have developed our own sense of humor, que se llama de llanito sense of humor, if you like, okay? If you can label it as such. Pero mira, the fact that these shows are sold out.
Yeah.
Y tienen que ser adding.
Sí, they must be very popular.
He's coming for 2 nights,
Okay.
pero seguro que tiene que ser
I
alguien.
am
'cause
sure.
Yo creo que eso adding ya, ¿eh?
I am
there's 2
sure
nights.
that no promoter, because these things are not, as far as I know, they are not sponsored by
Is the only
government.
one
No?
eating me?
They are private enterprises, no?
idea.
Private
Yes.
promoters.
I think it's run by Jordan Perez. I think.
They must be profitable.
Sí, hombre.
Hombre, no te estoy diciendo que el muchacho se vaya a ser millonario, pero que
Pero
he must-
por gusto no va a venir aquí.
he's not going to do it at a loss,
But I
is he?
think people like that kind of thing in Jib. There's a lot of people who enjoy watching stand-up comedy,
Tú sabes
and
una
even go
cosa-
to England. I've heard people
Yo
who
fui,
go
I went specifically
to see a
Michael
comic.
McIntyre.
Yes.
Y yo estoy esperando que traigan a uno en particular,
¿A quién?
a Mickey Flanagan.
Mickey
I
Flanagan.
love Mickey Flanagan. Y es el que estoy esperando yo que traigan.
Yo fui a ver, no sé cómo se llama, la muchacha, rubia. She was very funny. Skills, no sé, no me acuerdo
¿Tú
el
viste
nombre.
qué era? Britain's Got Talent este año, cuando salió una muchacha, I forget her name, pero she had cerebral palsy or something like that. Y I loved that girl because one of the best things that you can do in order to be humorous is to be able to laugh at yourself.
It's exactly what she does.
Todo el mundo se puede, sorry to use the expression,
I don't know her name.
cachondearse de otro, pero cachondearte de tú mismo.
Sí, ella sale-
¿Vale? And she was actually making fun
Of
of her own disabilities, which I thought was brilliant, ¿vale? Porque es una persona que para mí ha superado su problema, ¿no? Su disability, la ha superado.
Está usando su advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's turned it completely around. So this girl, instead of expecting sympathy, she's actually gone out and said, no, I'm going to use that now
No, I'm going
as
to own
my
it.
tool.
I'm going to own it.
Yeah,
Claro que
yeah,
sí.
absolutely.
Claro
yeah.
que sí.
Yeah, that's the right expression. She owns
own
it.
it.
Yeah.
The comedian I'm talking about is Sarah Millican.
Ah, esa es la que te dio el badge.
Me dio un badge.
¿Qué te gusta que te lo
I'm a Bobby Dazzler. I'm a Bobby Dazzler. I have it in my office. Me dio un badge.
Empezó diciendo de medals y medallions y va recogiendo badges.
Pero le
Pues
gustan
me
los
dieron,
badges.
Sí,
me
¿no?
dieron,
Escucha,
me
la
dieron
vamos,
un badge.
Davinia, la vamos a hacer nominating para el año que viene.
quieres un badge?
Yo, la verdad que no, yo no quiero
Rouge
badges.
OBE. ¿Qué te parece?
¿Quiero un badge
¿Eh?
de la reina? Bueno, del rey. Del rey, ¿no?
La verdad que no. ¿Por
No.
qué? ¿Tú tienes uno para darme?
I will make it happen.
¿Del rey?
Oye.
Yo te di badges for Christmas.
Hablando de badges y OBs y eso, ¿tú te has dado cuenta que todos los abogados ahora usan mi initials?
Sí. Me encanta. Casey.
Kenneth Cardona.
King's Counsel, me
KC.
encanta.
Todo el mundo está
no,
usando mi initials.
los que son
¿Y
Casey.
a quién le ha
Pero
dado
me ha
esta gente
gustado eso, me ha
permiso de
gustado.
usar mi initials?
Ay, mami.
Eso está muy gracioso. I haven't thought about it, but yes.
Cuando eran QC está bien.
And Camilla has COVID.
Camila has COVID.
Camilla has COVID.
Oh, really? Oh, dear.
Queen Consort, la pobre.
I mean, mira, la pobre,
Yeah.
que va a estar in isolation en Buckingham Palace con todos los jardines, igual que metido tú en tu flat. Vamos, venga
Ay, bueno,
ya.
estaba muy bien en mis flats, ¿qué quieres que te diga?
A mí
Sí,
no me
yo
gusta esa
COVID,
mujer,
la verdad.
te lo digo.
A mí
Me
tampoco.
apunto, a mí no me gusta
Ni a mí
esa
tampoco.
mujer, a todo.
No. Pero
Mucho.
I have to say that unfortunately the reason why a lot of people don't like her it's the fact de que Charles no tuvo dos bien puestos para decir no, sorry, esta es la mujer de mi vida.
Sí. Porque
Y
la reina
entonces,
didn't like
entonces
her.
we hate her by association, ¿vale? Y al mismo tiempo disculpamos un
She
poquito
was
a Charles porque como Charles es un poquito...
She's the, ¿cómo te puedo decir?
Penco, ¿no? Poco.
Porque el niño tonto, un poquito, de verdad.
How could I say? She is the typical other woman,
Sí,
which everybody hates
sí.
Yes.
in a breakup of a
Ahí
marriage.
está.
You see what I mean?
Pero al
no?
final del
Yes.
día...
Well, yes.
Al final del día, como digo yo, the onus was on him,
Sí.
100%.
Sí.
Y como one does not want to disappoint mommy,
No one doesn't want to disappoint.
one does not want to
That's very
disappoint
funny.
mommy, pues no
Have a cup,
tuvo
another cup.
bien puesto para decir
Bueno,
no,
pero,
sorry.
pero mira, es que...
Porque todo el mundo
sí,
critica
sí.
a su tío abuelo.
Lo que me ha dicho tú
Porque
ahora.
todo el
dijiste?
mundo criticó a su tío abuelo
Sí.
cuando él fue el que dijo, no, lo siento, yo quiero a
Haven't
esta
you watched The
mujer.
Crown? You have to watch The
Tú
Crown.
darte cuenta que esta familia, la reina, no hubiera llegado así a ser reina
Claro.
si no hubiera sido por el tío
claro.
que tuvo lo que tú dices,
Claro.
¿vale? Y se fue por amor.
¿Ya?
Se fue por amor ese hombre. Never
Sí.
mind what happened later, but he left.
Yeah, he left for love.
Because of love.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Y
Let's
esta
not
gente
forget.
have ripped the reputation of the royal family to shreds. ¿Vale? El Andrew por un lado, el
Sí, pero que esto no
Charles
es
por
nada
el
nuevo.
otro.
The reputation has always been... No. Hoy en día es porque es moderno and we find out everything. Toda la vida, todas las familias reales han tenido problemas y scandals y todo. Lo que pasa es que hoy en día we know about it.
Mira.
Porque la reina, en verdad, is not
Es,
the monarch that was supposed to be.
Yeah, no, that's what.
Pero not because of her uncle. It goes even further back because the true king of England, ¿vale? Que falleció ya, vivía en Australia. And the true heirs are his kids and they live in Australia.
Right.
Because somewhere down the line hubo un little con una,
Sí.
¿vale? Y verdaderamente el firstborn y el que estaba supuesto de ser heir es la rama de este hombre que terminó viviendo en
How far back is
Australia.
that?
Quite a bit.
But that he was an illegitimate child.
Pero then we go back to quién es legitimate.
Yo soy legítimo.
Y yo también.
Mi madre y mi padre.
Claro, yo me he hecho DNA y todo.
Hello.
No. Yo estoy hablando de
No, you said who is legitimate. I mean, if you're qualifying that, but who is legitimate in the royal family? Fine.
Por ejemplo, who dictates? Que estamos hablando todo lo mismo. Who dictates quién era the royal family? Who has this blue blood? Eso es porque hace mucho tiempo alguien dijo, tú eres el rey.
Well, yes.
Yes.
If you're going back to 1066,
Even further back.
no, in 1066 because llegó William the Conqueror, who is actually in French history known as not William the Conqueror, but actually William the Bastard.
Pero por eso vengo a decir, what is the real?
The Duke of Normandy, William the Conqueror, as we call him in our history, he actually went to the UK, ¿vale? And captured the UK so that he could establish his own monarchy. That far back.
What I want to say is de que si te pones a mirar verdaderamente, like really truly, at what point no dijeron, sí, vamos a decir que esta era mi mujer, pero en verdad era la quería y para arriba.
Bueno, eso ha pasado todo.
It's all war.
Mira,
Eso viene como religion, ¿vale? Yo no soy religiosa, pero yo siempre he dicho, porque siempre dicen, no, because Christianity para arriba. Bueno, what if Christianity is the longest standing sect? Who says que no vino uno que se llamaba Jesus y dijo como David Koresh, porque todo el mundo dice, no, David Koresh estaba chalao. Bueno, porque lo vivimos, pero a lo mejor ese era el David Koresh de hace 2000 años y todo el mundo lo acepta.
Yo no lo veo así,
Of course not.
pero bueno, cada
Yo es que
I have
uno.
my own view on that.
Bueno, what's your view?
What, the Christianity,
Sí.
really? Bueno, eso es quite involved. Esto no es para explicarlo.
Sí, pero
Aquí
in a nutshell.
media
In
hora.
a nutshell, he apparently, and I've read a little bit into this, he was somebody who belonged to a particular sect of the Jewish religion, que son de Essenes, no Essenes o algo así se llama, okay? And it was at a time when there was a very strong feeling in Judea at the time against the Roman conquerors, ¿vale?
Yes.
Y tú darte cuenta que he came to be the king of the Jews, esto, lo otro, para acá, para allá, la película que se montó allí,
Mira
¿vale?
hasta macaroons y todo.
Sí. La película que se montó allí,
Take them full, take full.
yeah. Basically, the way I see it was Pontius Pilate, el pobre, se encontró con este problema.
Con todo el marrón ahí.
A Pontius Pilate dicen que he washed his hands, pero the washing of the hands really, in my view, was not something que él hizo in a negative way. Este era que se encontró con un pastizo y
Claro.
dice, mira, este pastizo es de ustedes, no mío.
Mucha gente dice que he was a prophet.
Okay.
That Jesus was a prophet. They don't give him the status that we do, but I do.
Isn't that the Islamic view?
Okay.
Sí,
Maybe.
the prophets, es verdad, porque está Mohammed y también, that's right, that's right.
The Islamic view, they consider
be.
him to be Jesus. A mí lo que me fascina de esto, de todo este cuento, really, ¿vale? Sorry if anybody gets offended because I think it's a story, a very interesting story, is what about the missing 18 years?
Well, there are bits and pieces.
Para mí es the
Bueno.
When he went into the temple when he was quite young, and
He
That's
broke,
when he started, and
he caused that mayhem in the temple
Yeah.
when he was 12.
Yeah.
And then he didn't actually start his ministry until he was 30.
well,
¿vale?
¿Qué pasa
no,
entre
I think
medio?
it was younger than
Eso es
that.
eso es lo que a mí me
Pero
fascina.
a mí lo que me fascina es que pueden venir 4 personas y decir, yo he escrito todo de
Sí, bueno,
toma mi
ahí-
libro.
ahí
Pero, and it's not even written at the same time.
There's some theories. Bueno, mira, ahí te va tú darte cuenta que the Gospels, as we know it, were actually put into writing, ¿vale? In the Council of Nicaea, yeah? When the Roman emperor at the time, que creo que era Constantine, no, whatever, who the first one to become a Christian, there were so many different versions of this que él dice, mira, aquí vamos todo el mundo a ponernos aquí, vamos a escribir una versión. Y no terminaron con una versión, terminaron con
Aparte
4.
que los soviets era word of mouth.
Sí, claro.
Porque a lo primero no se escribía con que Chinese Whisper es Chinese Whisper. Vamos a ver.
Yeah, well, fair
Es
enough.
que it's
Fair enough.
true.
Pero no, es que...
You think that the stories
mira,
were kept
Sorry, Davinia,
true?
but this is like me now trying to write the story of let's go back 400
Ahí
years.
está.
Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah, and me trying to write the story of a particular character in 400 years ago, when
Yeah.
all I have heard is, like Davinia has said, through word of mouth stories, okay? Because there wouldn't have been any written sources.
Que dice que había un apóstol ahí con un libro.
No, pero dicen
No,
the
but all
letters,
these
no?
stories were written down somewhere, and then
Not
The
at the
letters,
time.
the letters.
It was all
They were
word. not at the time. Todo es word of mouth, eventually put down.
No,
sé
but
lo
the
que
letters that the apostles wrote, they wrote themselves.
of course.
Yeah. Y aparte de eso, que darte cuenta que mucho de lo que habían allí, aunque no lo escribieran, I think the Jewish language was already a written language, I believe. And at the same time, the Romans and the Greeks also wrote.
I think they wrote way before.
Los
The Romans, they probably did.
Claro.
Way before.
Si los griegos, the heyday of ancient Greek culture was about 300 years to about 600 years before Christ, as they call it. Yeah? I mean, the Battle of, bueno, Thermopylae me parece que era 300 and something BC. Or something like that. No, I'm not
Bueno,
very
aquí
sure about
estamos
that.
dando el history lesson y el
Sí.
religious lesson.
Ayer tuve que hablar de geography, hoy vamos a hablar de history.
Ayer hablaste de geography, es
Sí,
verdad.
ayer hablé de geography.
Actually, I was impressed by your knowledge of tectonic plates
Well, yeah.
and how the earthquake has affected. We've got a situation.
Have you seen?
here that-
Have you had an opportunity to look at the map of the tectonic plates over the Middle East? There's 4 of them converge. 4 of them converge. Tú imagínate que eso es.
Sí, porque uno va para abajo.
But that's a subductive one.
Ahí está.
Yeah.
Ahí está. But okay, because there's the 4 of them, there's a couple of combinations happening there, so
Sí, ahí
it's
está.
a perfect storm.
Yeah.
It's a perfect
That's
storm.
what I'm saying. Lo que pasa es que if you think about it, no, if we were all standing together and I nudge you, that nudge is going to have
That's
an
what you said
effect
yesterday.
further along,
Right.
¿vale? Y una de las cosas que no, mira, aquí no es que habíamos tenido un earthquake serio desde 1868.
Pero han
o
habido
algo así.
tremors, a veces han habido
I
tremors.
have
Pero,
felt 3 of them.
pero como estamos encima de los dos, it's
Pero darte cuenta que en Loja tuvieron un earthquake no hace poco. What, a few years back, 2
Yeah.
or 3, pre-COVID, I think, possibly about
Maybe.
3 years ago.
And there was one here, wasn't it? There one near here.
they're all the time. Lo que pasa es que son
En Marruecos,
chicos.
if you go to the north of Morocco, on your way past Ceuta y eso towards Chefchaouen, there's an actual place where if you look down,
Yeah.
you can actually see the crack in the continental plates. ¿Vale? How do you know? Because it's a massive ravine, and a ravine is normally formed by water. But this
By
one, there's no
running
water.
Ahí está, by running water.
Y tú lo miras y tú dices, esto es el edge del continental plate. I mean, in a place like Iceland, you can actually see it underwater and on land.
I've been to Iceland. I've seen
Sí.
where the Asia and the American and the
Isn't
European
there a fence which
divides,
is
and they're
broken?
and actually, if you swim through it, you can swim through quite narrow, and you see America on one side and Europe on the
So
other
you can
side.
touch both.
It's incredible.
continents.
You can
see
touch both as you
both
swim through it.
continental plates,
You see
yeah.
that. I haven't seen it myself. I've seen it in pictures, but I've been to the point where you can look over and see that's America
yeah,
over there, supposedly.
Yeah.
And that's
Y en
not.
Kenia, que está el Rift Valley,
Increíble.
which is quite big, really.
Ahora, lo que ha pasado en Turkey es, cada vez que pongo los news, me entra una pena.
Es que eso lo que
Es
estuve
horroroso.
diciendo ayer yo, ¿no?
Y mucha pena de este muchacho, el médico, el pobre Dr. Shami. Que,
I didn't
Mr.
know that,
Shami.
I didn't know that
No, I
this
didn't know
gentleman,
him either.
But he
Very-
must have been very,
very tragic.
well liked and very
Oh, yeah,
popular,
yeah, yeah.
judging by the
Yeah, yeah,
amount
yeah.
of comments on social media.
yeah.
No?
Yo tampoco lo conocía.
I mean, I suppose it's a measure of how
Yes.
many comments you get on when something like that happens.
Yes,
¿no?
how it likes,
Igual,
no, how it likes.
igual, sorry, pero por decirlo, y a veces cuando hay un funeral, ¿no?
So you can measure how-
you can measure how well
Yeah.
liked that person was by the number of people who turn up at the funeral.
O cómo de cumplida son las gente.
Bueno, eso también lo hemos hablado, porque hay
Bueno,
mucha gente
sí.
que le gustan cumplir. Y más en small towns, hablando de small towns.
Bueno.
Y después Facebook, todo el mundo, RIP,
But you know what?
RIP,
Yeah, but you
RIP.
have to see that. I see that as people being kind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't see that as mira la pelota esta que le
No,
quiere.
yo tampoco, pero que...
Yo no lo
people
miro
are kind,
yo no
la
lo
verdad.
miro de una
Pero que, no,
manera
pero, que no lo,
Genuinely.
pero que no lo veo necesariamente like you said that it shows.
A measure of how much.
It depends on your age as well. Porque tú puedes llegar al punto que
And the circumstance.
Yeah, as well.
Mira, one thing I want to mention.
And how large your family is.
And how large your family is. True.
No?
Which can happen as well. Not in my case, pero bueno. Janito category has been added to this spring short story competition this year, and Cultural Services wants to promote, safeguard, and what our unique language. What do you think about that?
Oh, súper bien.
There's a whole letter in the Chronicle today
Problem with that.
Sí,
from Charlie Durante,
Charlie.
which I think hits the nail on the
I
head.
haven't read it.
It's very good.
I think que está cogiendo carrerilla esto ya por fin.
People
Y
are-
about time.
Tú sabes que, you know that I do work in the National Archives, ¿no? Or through the community care thing y todo lo demás. Y mira, at the moment we are cataloguing some books which were donated to the archives. Y me hizo gracia porque encontré a dictionary of pidgin English, ¿vale? A dictionary of pidgin English.
And what did you look at it?
Sí, claro.
¿Y qué?
But it's basically about how people in Jamaica talk, ¿no? ¿Vale? It's graciosísimo because it has like what the expression is in English, and then beside it how it would be said in pidgin, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
No? Which is very phonetic, ¿vale?
Que pidgin es P-I-D-G-I-N.
I
Yeah,
know.
that's right, pigeon.
I
It's
saw
not
it.
pigeon.
Nothing to do with
I thought it was
pigeon.
No, nothing to do with our
pigeon.
feathered
I thought it
friends.
was.
Where the
I
expression
know.
comes from, I don't know.
With our feathered enemies,
Yeah,
please.
bueno, ¿te no te gustan los
Oh, Paloma no.
Pigeons are like rats.
I hate seagulls.
También.
Oh, I don't like
también,
those much either.
Tú sabes que a mí se me cayó un seagull en el patio.
Entero? The big creatures.
Vivo,
Oh,
grande.
¿Y qué pasó?
¿Vale?
¿Cómo que se
Y
cayó?
estábamos en
¿Qué
la
le
cama.
pasó?
We were both in bed. This was 8 o'clock in the morning, Davinia, ¿vale? Y estoy en la cama y estoy escuchando this tapping noise, ¿vale? Y yo pensando para mí, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Y Janela woke up y me dice, hay alguien tratando de entrar. 8 de la mañana, me levanto y me veo la gaviota. We've got these French windows, ¿vale? And the seagull was tapping away at the French window. Okay?
Trying to get in.
Or out,
Oh, trying to
whatever.
get out.
It couldn't fly off, ¿vale? Escúchame, ¿tú sabes la película que fue coger la gaviota esa? ¿Vale? Because I was trying to grab it. Yeah?
Sí,
And it kept running around.
Shall I tell you the
all
best
over
way
the
to do
place.
it?
Como
By
los
throwing
muñequitos.
something
¿Tú has
over it.
visto-
Not to-
¿Tú has visto
The
los
best way for me
muñequitos?
is leaving my house y llamando a Gonzo o algo, porque yo el pájaro no lo voy a tocar. ¿Qué hace?
Somebody suggested, ¿por qué no le diste un palo?
No.
Ya no puede ser
Un
eso.
palo tanto como un palo,
Yo
no.
daño no le quiero hacer,
No.
pero que no se acerque.
Ay.
No.
Buh.
Entonces, ¿cómo sacaste a la gaviota de ahí?
Eventually, I got this old towel.
Eso, you throw it over. Yes,
him,
that's how you do it.
grabbed
That's
the
how you do
thing
it.
by the head,
Yes.
so that it wouldn't peck me,
Yes.
peck me, ¿vale? And then I took it. Sí, un liado en la toalla hasta arriba de la azotea, lo solté, esto
y salió?
peleándome con esto en el lift.
Sí, porque they're
¿comprende?
quite big creatures.
Y
And
tienen
heavy.
tela, y tienen
Sí,
tela.
I know.
Te atacan.
I know.
A mí me estaba atacando.
No,
ya.
what's it? Embitten?
Sí.
What's the word?
Cuando yo he estado, por ejemplo, they like to attack dogs.
Sí, sí.
Tú estás con un perro,
Sí.
por ejemplo, arriba del monte,
Yep.
and they swoop over you.
They
Tienen muy
swoop-
mala leche.
I've seen that done to a dog I used to
Tiene
have.
que poner algo like if you go up on
Something high.
something high. They kind of
Right.
go for that.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bueno,
¿Y tú has
¿podemos hablar de
visto
una
when they-
cosa?
When they attack the migratory birds.
Yes.
I see that
even
from my
even the
terrace.
eagles, even these
Sí, sí,
big
sí, sí.
eagles that are
I
big.
remember years and years ago, there was a vulture que se
Yes,
tuvo que poner
yes.
encima del Royal Bank of Scotland antiguo.
And they hammered it down.
Because it was exhausted.
Yes.
Sorry, ladies, pero me voy a
Yes.
comer un sándwich.
El vulture estaba exhausted de estar todo el tiempo trying to avoid them. Y tú dices, a ver.
Yeah,
¿Qué
reminds me of the
necesita?
U.S. government who knocked down that supposedly Chinese round floaty thing over Montana. ¿Viste how they shot it
grabando
down?
cosas.
Ya lo sé.
Grabando cosas.
Están un poco sus.
Ay, mira, I don't know if you saw it, pero
Sus,
there
all
was
a
a
bit
comment
sus.
made on BBC News by somebody,
Yeah.
some commentator, when they suggested that what was in the sky and they had shot down apparently or whatever was an extraterrestrial UFO. Y el que lo estaba diciendo dice, and that is the explanation everybody hopes will happen. Como
Yes.
diciendo, eso es
Lo mejor que podría
pasar.
Lo mejor,
Es que es
porque
verdad.
como sea verdad, lo otro se va a liar a la gorda.
No ha ido, un americano iba ahí, ¿quién era? Un ambassador de yo que sé qué, I'm not quite sure who. Was going to go on a visit to to China for something, Beijing, and they've cancelled the trip.
Cancel. Bueno, mira.
So, tell us what you were gonna
Vamos a
say.
hablar de algo.
I'm going to
Más
have.
positivo.
Tú no has comido nada, nosotros no estamos hinchando.
Go ahead. ¿Qué pasa con el drink driving?
¿Qué pasa con el
¿Qué pasa? Que todo el mundo lo están cogiendo drink driving. Todo el mundo. ¿Qué pasa? People, walk home. Es que no lo entiendo. Y la cosa es que a lot of them, when you
I
look at
haven't heard
it,
a thing.
lo
People
has
you know.
visto a cada rato. Ya no es como han cogido a tal y tal drink driving, ya es como el artículo tiene 3 personas cada vez que sale. Y some people de avanzada edad,
Mira,
que no vamos a
yo
hablar de la
no-
juventud.
Yo no voy a justificar driving under the influence of drink because a neighbor of mine was killed by a drink driver in Spain. So, I don't want to mention names, please. ¿Vale? Pero eso me cayó muy mal. Will not deny that I, in my past, have actually driven after
Yes, well,
drinking.
Ni yo tampoco.
Ni yo tampoco.
Pero
Pero que
tenía
hoy en día-
17,
I was
18,
Sí, sí.
pero no.
Lo único que pasa
alguien
de
ya
Viña-
con-
lo único que pasa con eso, lo único que me molesta a mí de esto es de que esto es, ¿cómo te puedo decir? El crimen de moda, ¿vale? El crimen de moda quiere decir, by that I mean que let's say we were sharing a drink and you go and drive, which I would probably try to prevent you from doing in the first place, okay?
Okay.
Pero te cogen a ti y sale en la crónica Michelle Ruggeroni, esto, lo otro, was found with so many degrees of milligrams of alcohol in the blood y todo lo demás, ¿vale? Name and shame, as they call it. Pero después cogen 36 compañías del Finance Center who have been flouting or disregarding or not keeping abreast of their regulations. Y esas 36 compañías no las nombran. ¿Vale? Y vamos a hablar de la justicia. Es que la justicia está descabellada por completo. Descabellada. Y te voy a decir por qué. Esto es de la manera que yo lo veo. Cogen a un niño con 17, 18 años. Yo no sé lo que se le metió en la cabeza a este chiquillo, con 1,5 kilos de hashish en la playa. Y va preso. Cogen a otro tío con una lancha de 200.000 libras de proceeds of money laundering y le dan community service.
¿Y cómo puede ser? Y no hay
yo lo que digo, who is relatively more involved in the drug trade
Oh my
and
gosh.
who has made a bigger crime? And in my view, the guy who has got the launch of £200,000, because if they have a launch of £200,000, ¿cuánto dinero más han hecho? Eso estamos hablando
How can
de
that
big
be?
operation.
How can that be?
No,
How does that happen?
no un Shabea. Sorry, es que no
Pero,
quiero decir la palabra.
Kenneth,
but-
how does that happen? Is this a fact? Something
These are
that's
facts.
actually happened?
These are facts. And you can check them up. And I don't want to name the people
Don't
publicly.
name any names. But I don't understand how that can
Porque
happen in
la
a justice
justicia está
system.
descabellada.
Anyway,
Está descabellada.
no sé lo que deciste tú, bueno.
You know, and I mean, mira, que era, sorry, no salió ayer en la crónica una señora mayor
Sí,
que
Sí.
había arrastrado un pram,
sí.
¿vale? Le echaron que era 200 libras de multa y un mes suspendida de eso. Si te echan una multa más grande por llevar un scooter sin casco.
O por no recoger, o por no recoger la caca de tu perro.
No sé quién es la mujer ni quiero hablar malamente de nadie, pero esa mujer podía haber matado a alguien. ¿Vale? El tío que no va con el casco en el scooter, que está bien, eso hace falta. O yo que vaya en mi moto sin casco y me van a multar. The only person who's going to injure themselves is myself. This lady actually
could
did
injure
something
somebody
where she
else,
could have caused
Yeah, no,
serious
no.
injury or worse to somebody else. 200 libras y un mes.
See, no, but I'd like to think that maybe I'm not defending her. That she wasn't going too fast, or it was
It doesn't matter.
a little bit of a
I've had this argument
maybe
with other people.
I don't know.
You can actually kill somebody driving your car at 20 kilometers an hour.
That's right.
¿Vale? Con que déjame de too fast. Y además, esa señora que tiene 72 años, un mes suspendida, no. Esa mujer ya no conduce más. Because she has got to go to a medical every single year.
But are the medicals proper medicals, or do they go somewhere?
Bueno, los médicos tú sabes qué
Porque
hacen, ¿no? Los médicos te miran la vista
Some of them,
y
some of
poco
them,
más.
sí.
Entonces, los reflejos que pasa.
Sí, eso es lo que pasa. Que some of them you go, le pagas las 30 libras, te firma el papelito and off you go.
O va a la hija y dice, ay, doctor, me da lástima.
Please.
El único que tiene, la única independencia que tiene.
Pero ahí viene para atrás village mentality.
Sí, pero también puede pasar donde sea.
Sí,
Eso no es village mentality.
Sí, hombre, ¿cómo que no?
Bueno,
Ay,
mira.
pero espérate, Davina. ¿Tú qué te hace falta? La licencia, espérate que yo voy a hablar con mi amigo Javi.
Pero eso pasa all
Pero
the
eso
time
no es
con
village
todo.
mentality.
Pero eso no es village mentality. Eso es who you know y eso pasa donde
sorry, but I
sea.
have to disagree with you, yeah? It is the village mentality.
I don't
because
agree with you
el
either.
village mentality es todo hacerse unos favores una a la otra.
Eso pasa
y
por
todo.
todos lados, Kenneth.
Mira, yo este weekend he visto, me he chupado entero el documentary de Bernie Madoff.
¿Quién?
¿Vale? El que hizo the largest Ponzi scheme in history.
Yeah.
And that same village mentality applied to the entire basis, porque era como, hombre, es Bernie Madoff, ese tío sabe lo que
I have
hace,
no idea who he is.
¿vale? Con
I've
que,
heard the name and I know a little bit about
pues
it. not
watch
very
it
much.
porque es flipante. Y ahí, on a global scale, era un village mentality, so no.
Sí, no, lo siento, pero ahí we have to disagree. Yo creo todavía que el problema que tenemos en libertad es que tenemos un village mentality.
No.
We agree to
Bueno,
disagree.
we'll have to agree to disagree. He visto una foto on social media estos días de nuestra amiga Javinia cycling to Castellá con un casco very proud. ¿Eso cuándo fue?
Eso fue-
¿En qué live fue eso?
Qué life. Eso fue que mi marido dice, vamos a Castilla. Y yo no tengo una bicicleta grande, yo tengo una
No,
Brompton.
did you go in the Brompton?
Oh, yes, I did.
But how long did you take?
No tanto como tú te crees,
No.
¿vale?
Digo, habrá llegado a las 5 horas.
Que va, que va.
¿Y sí?
A bit.
Ahora
My
sí,
washing's hanging out.
ahora sí te puedo decir que cuando llegamos para atrás, llegué antes de lunch, leche. Hablando tú 5 horas.
No sé
Me comí,
cuándo era,
me
yo vi
comí
la
un
foto.
platazo de fideo y me eché un pedazo de nap porque estaba reventada.
Claro.
But I was so proud of myself.
Claro.
Because all you could see en el camino para Castilla era todo el mundo con su bicicleta de 3.000, 4.000, 5.000 pavas, con su cosa tompetada, todo el mundo.
Sí, porque everybody has all the gear
Y
here.
yo,
That's another topic for another day.
con mi culo, y mi Brompton,
Ole
y
tu
lo
culo.
hice, y no me hizo falta nada, y no pasó nada.
Muy bien.
¿Qué hecho que era el domingo pasado?
No, esto es una pila.
En another life, como te he dicho.
Cuando
en-
tenía 20
en
años.
another life.
Antes de COVID era. No te
Another
pases.
life, in another
Antes de
life.
COVID era. Antes de COVID.
Bueno, guys, we've been chatting for over half an hour. I think we need to wrap it up. It's been very nice to have you.
Really? I
Kenneth?
was just getting warmed up.
I know, I'm sure, but we always go over and over for like ages.
¿Qué hacemos?
Yeah.
Hay muchas cosas de que hablar y media hora no es suficiente.
No.
Bueno, thank you for
Bueno,
inviting
que va,
me.
it's a pleasure.
A pleasure
We'll
to
have
talk
you
to you.
definitely invite
Even
you
if we
back.
don't agree on a lot of things,
that's
but
the best
never
thing.
mind. Eso
That's
una-
what
I
we
don't
like.
think we're here to agree anyway.
No,
No.
it's called being a democracy.
No, and it's called having interesting conversation, porque si todos dijéramos, hoy sí es verdad.
Pero sí, ¿verdad?
Qué paso, de verdad,
Yeah.
There we are. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, and we have to mention Ibex Insurance. Do you
Actually-
have any insurance at Ibex Insurance? You do? Well, there you are. Have a customer.
Sí, bueno, I want a discount for this.
Ah, oh, I don't know, but we can give you some nice. We've got lots of
have
little
stuff.
promotional items
Sí,
we
no,
can
yo
give you.
quiero el discount.
Oye, next time que
A mí
vamos a
que me
ver,
den-
¿verdad?
a mí que me den el discount en el seguro del Javi, ¿vale?
Muy bien. We'll let them know.
Okay.
Venga.